What's up everyone, my name is Gothix, and for today's video, I'm gonna react to some music. And I haven't done it in a while, but listen, I've been reading your comments and a lot of you guys are talking about, hey, did you see Tom Macdonald came out with a new song? Did you listen to the system? Are you gonna react to it yet? We're waiting for a reaction. After hearing that so many times, I figured it was time to cash in on the reaction bucks, which is what we're going to do today. So yes, without further delay, here is my reaction to The System.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left. Take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth.
Ooh, yes, you still got it, Tom. You still got it. Haven't heard your music in a little bit, partially because I didn't want this channel to turn into a Tom Macdonald reaction channel, which is what a lot of people thought it was. But your lyrics are just on point. So let's take a look at this. Why do you think kids are being taught about critical race theory and gender identity in schools? It's not to make the world a more tolerant, diverse, and inclusive place. Oh, no, 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 no. Let's have an honest conversation about this. A child's brain doesn't fully develop until they're around 25, and then you still have to consider them maturing. So if you can get them while they're young, you can convince these kids to believing nonsensical ideas, which has been resulting in a lot of kids thinking that they're transgender all of a sudden, thinking that they are the opposite sex or they can switch sexes whenever they want. Kids are coming home confused, and it's also severing the bond between the parent and the child, which is instrumental in creating a communist society. This is the exact template that was used under Mao Zedong's regime during the Great Leap Forward. He wanted to create a genderless society to control the masses. All you have to do to realize that these conversations surrounding critical race theory and anti-racism and gender identity is nonsense is just to look at what the result is. More suicides are going up because they're confused about their gender, or they're being villainized because they're white or an oppressor. It's radicalizing more people. You're seeing more people be overtly racist towards other people that they deem are the oppressors or they deem have some type of privilege. So it's creating more friction and more social unrest among society. Another part of this that's very devious is with the gender identity specifically, it is lining the pockets of the pharmaceutical industry. It is creating an opening for kids to take hormone blockers and have top surgery. I've seen people as young as 15 years old have their breasts removed because they've been brainwashed into thinking they are the opposite sex. So it is lining the pockets of people that don't care about you, because if gender dysphoria is a mental disorder, then we should push back on that mental disorder instead of affirming it. Here's the last thing that teaching these concepts to kids is actually doing. It is ensuring future voters. What side of the political aisle is positioning themselves as the champion against racism or the champion for LGBT rights? It's not the Republicans. So who do you think they are trying to condition people to vote for? So something else that he mentioned is if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. I've talked about this endlessly. This book right here, The Naked Communist, this, I recommend everyone pick this up. It illustrates 45 rules for a communist takeover, which is what is happening right now. And a few of the rules talk about infiltrating the press, infiltrating academia, infiltrating the psychiatric fields. And what that does is if you have communists in all aspects of society who are all following one strategy, you can control the flow of information. You can propagandize an entire nation. So if you can't get them in school, you're going to get them through the media. You're going to get them through Hollywood. Parents, this is where you need to stop being hands-off and monitor what your kid is consuming. Because even if you pulled your kid out of school and you're homeschooling them now, if you leave them alone with the tablet or you leave them alone with the TV, you don't know what they're teaching your child. And then he also says you can vote, but if you win, everyone still loses. Right, left, red, or blue, doesn't matter. I agree with that. There is no such thing as good government. You can have limited government, which is a good thing. But the left doesn't want limited government. Oh no, they want more government, okay? You even have a lot of politicians on that side that are praising the government as being a good thing. So when you hear that, red flag. Red flag. And then he ends this by saying, we prioritize material belongings over truth. Absolutely. Like I said, the gender identity is a perfect example. with this multiple genders, and you can pick whatever genders, whatever you want. We know it's nonsense, but this is where they will look to authority to validate their positions. They'll say, oh, because scientists or experts or doctors all validated this delusion, it must be true. No, as I said, illustrated in this book, if you control multiple areas of society, you can control the flow of information. Okay, so we all know that there is only men and women. Intersex, we're not talking about intersex. It's not a part of the LGBT, so I don't know why you're saying this as an argument. Stop that. But we know that there are just men and women. Every single person here came out of a woman, and every single person here was created by sperm, which comes from a man. So where is this idea coming from? It's coming from political propaganda. You have been propagandized. Let's continue.
We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose, but our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you.
Woo! Oh, yes. Let me work on that backwards because I like that last one. We go and get married to a lady that doesn't have a clue and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. We have a culture that lacks personal responsibility. The conversation surrounding abortion is a prime example of that. This idea that you shouldn't have to raise a child that you don't want. Who made the decision to have sex in the first place? When you make that decision, you accept the consequences that you could end up with a child. Don't have sex if you aren't ready to be a parent. It's very simple. When you want to abort a child, when you want to murder a child because you made a decision to do that in the first place, you are enabling this lack of personal responsibility. Think about this for a second. In the Black community, you have a lot of fatherless homes. So imagine an irresponsible mother raising a child, and that child ends up lacking personal responsibility. That's what's happening. So let's continue here. You also have this verse where he says, what's the problem? You're depressed. Society has you confused. Gender identity. There's another one. We got medication for you that you will probably abuse. Yes, I took myself off of antidepressants. I recently found God, and he is my antidepressant, right? Now, if you are on that, speak to your doctor. If that works for you, fine, boo-boo. I'm not here to tell you what you have to do. But what I am saying is that so many people depend on medication for things that they could fix without the medication. Another example, going back to the gender identity thing, is this idea of having gender confusion and thinking that you are the opposite sex. To fix that would be, in my opinion, to go get therapy or to have a relationship with God. I know not everyone's going to like that comment, but that's what I recommend. The alternative shouldn't be, here's all your hormones, here's your injections, go get surgery, chop off your genitals. That's not treatment. That is lining the pockets of people that don't actually care about you. Because if someone actually cared about you, they would say, why do you feel this way? Oh, you're depressed? Let's challenge this. Why do you hate the way that you look? Why do you hate the body that you're in? Let's teach you to be resilient. Let's teach you to be emotionally resilient so that you learn to accept and love yourself. That's how you care about someone. And then he also says, get a job that you can stand so you can buy some cans of food, go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil that we can use. I understand the importance of defending the country that we're in. And I think America right now is being positioned to be in conflict. And I don't mean conflict that we observe from a distance. That's not what I'm talking about. In my opinion, that's what I'm seeing. So I'm against war. I'm against conflict, but I understand the necessity for wanting to defend your land and your community. But let's be real. A lot of these wars that soldiers are sent out to don't have anything to do with things relating to us. It's all about money. It's all about just it's greed. It's all greed.
Who also don't have a clue and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Ooh.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Tom, can I be in your music video? I want to be in one. I'll just be in the background just smiling. Can I be, please? Yo, this is hot. All right, so let's take a look at this chorus. Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. It hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is the system. Remember Black Lives Matter and how people were seriously justifying looting and rioting and violence? We're angry. Who gives a shit if you're angry? That's not how you solve problems. Are you crazy? Everyone is a victim. There is a reason. Another reason why they're teaching kids these ideas is critical race theory and gender identity and stuff like that is to weaken the emotional resilience of people. They're trying to create a situation where people they don't have the confidence to stand up for themselves and fight back. So this is why I say that America right now is being weakened. They're priming us for something. And if you look around, there's so many groups of people that are victimizing themselves, and they are positioning ourselves to be subservient to government authority. That is to the benefit of our elected officials. All right, let's continue.
One is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided all the men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome. So for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate, objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape, and weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. And just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same.
Oh, yes. And what he just said was exactly what I talked about earlier in this video. Leveling the playing field, creating a genderless society. Everyone's the same because everyone is a comrade. That's what they're doing. So then he says, never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate, objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape. Yeah, especially like I said, never teaching you to love yourself. This whole gender identity thing, they are not teaching people to love themselves. They're just redirecting that trauma somewhere else. And I love this part where he says, welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. Yeah. This is again something that communists do is when you create an environment where everyone is equal in terms of communism, which is why they're trying to create a genderless society. That also means that kids have the same authority as parents. So if that's okay, I'll paint you pink if that's okay. Listen to the rhetoric that's surrounding this gender identity topic. Kids are telling their parents what they are. Mom, I feel like I'm the opposite sex. I want hormones, and some parents do it. It's conditioning parents to be obedient to their child. It's giving more power to the child.
Race the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay, then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we make. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same.
Woo! That is hot. Yes. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a house. Me and my man, we're trying to get married. We got to repopulate the planet with common sense. It is our duty. All right. We need some common sense out there. All right. We also want to spread the gospel too. So that's the other thing. So he also goes on to say that here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we make. Yeah. Our culture has conditioned people into putting all of their happiness in relationships. And I think this is also, it speaks to this abortion crisis where a lot of young women feel the need to abort their babies. Well, let's have a conversation about why you're sleeping with so many men in the first place. Why are you having one night stands with all these strangers? Why is this normal for your society? You know, I know someone that's had 5 abortions and they just wanted to go out and party. Like that to me is a very sick mindset, and it tells me that you're looking for love in the wrong places. And if you're not looking for love, what does that say about the way that you're treating your own body? And then also he mentioned the thing about the Bible and a bottle of cheapest booze. I believe in reading the Bible. I am a believer. I used to, before I found God, I would drink whole bottles of wine to myself. And I would self-medicate by smoking weed all day, every day. I would just be numb. So I give full credit to God for getting me out of that headspace. And And I think that is a better solution than handing someone some type of substance for them to medicate themselves. Then have men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. Yeah, if you notice that a lot of these woke ideas have gone full circle and they don't make sense. Like, for example, the abortion conversation. Men shouldn't have opinions on abortions. Well, hold on a second. Didn't some clothing brand come out the other day and said that men can get pregnant? So if men can get pregnant, then men are allowed to talk on abortions. And didn't you also say that trans women are women, right? There's no differences between men and women. So what exactly are you doing when you say you're fighting for women's rights? Because we don't even know what a woman is. It can be whatever we want. It's just a thing that it's floating everywhere. It is what it is, right? So we've gone full circle where a lot of these ideas don't make any sense. And if you're someone that has been encouraging these ideas, I recommend that you just own up to the fact that you've been spreading nonsense and learn from it. All right, let's continue.
Who will also do the same. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, everybody. I'ma paint you black and white. I'ma make you hate each other so that everyone will fight. I'ma give you our religion, let the righteous find the light. But I will also give you science to oppose the word of Christ.
Oh, yes. Yes. If you just take a step back and observe how everyone is acting, something is deeply not okay. We have never seen this much division in our lifetime in America and around the world. This is happening globally, and it's because the whole world is about to be put under one authoritarian government, and your elected officials have been planning this. So, brace yourself. All right. So everyone is fighting, and this was all planned. He goes on to say here, I'm gonna give you a religion, let the righteous find the light, but I would also give you science to oppose the word of Christ. Yeah, so I talk about this a lot. I used to be very depressed, very bitter. I felt myself becoming angry over the last couple of years because of friends that stopped being my friend, because of my political beliefs, and then with people just calling me names all the time, calling me a grifter, anti-black, and accusing me of racism and all that stuff. After a while, after hearing that starts to really make you very bitter, and it hardens you. And I was so distraught over this, and there were days that I would just sit at my desk crying, and I really give full credit to God for saving me from that. And knowing how much he has done to give me so much joy in my life, I just want to share it with other people. And it's so disheartening to see that so many people are quick to disregard the gospel because of scientists, because of science. I don't think there's a single scientist or research paper that can prove God's existence. I don't think you can prove that we were designed as human beings with a purpose. I don't think that's possible. And all I can say is that my depression, my fear, my anxiety, my bitterness, gone, all gone. And I want to share that with other people. And instead we have those in power, the media, that are trying to manipulate society into not believing in the word of God. In fact, going back to this book, they talk about discrediting the Bible and also infiltrating churches with wokeness. And they do that because Christianity is a roadblock, one of the biggest, if not the biggest roadblock for communism. And it's because it teaches you values that are opposite to what you learn in communism. Just look at how society is right now. Everyone's fighting. In the Bible, it teaches you to love your enemies. It also tells you to not be bitter. And bitterness is at the core of these conversations surrounding transphobia and racial injustice and all this stuff. Everyone is so bitter about systemic racism and white supremacy. You can't have these social justice causes actually thrive if you have the word of God. You can't do both. So this is why I recommend everyone pick up this book. And then another thing that he says was, I'm gonna give you borders, but they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everyone dies. I'm gonna give you money that you value more than life and let 1% have everything while you fight to survive. Yup, that's exactly it. The 1% is fighting a war right now because they think they are being oppressed by capitalism and white supremacy and the patriarchy. If there are people, this is what I've always said about any of these woke ideas, if there are people in society who fit into these specific groups, me being a black woman, not caring about microaggressions or systemic racism and all this stuff does not bother me. That should be the standard. That should be the template for other black people. Okay, you're worried about microaggressions and systemic racism? Well, this black person did it, so let's show you how they did it. Instead, they complain and they complain. And you know why? It's because they want to weaponize the victimization of people that fit into these boxes so they can push certain agendas. I don't have the book right now, but there's a book that I recommend, Color, Communism, and Common Sense. It was written by a black man who was an ex-communist Party member, and he talks about that specifically, how the victimization of black people is instrumental for communists, because if you have a society of people that can do it themselves, that's not going to work. And this is why the do-it-yourselfers get labeled as being anti-black or having internalized racism. They don't want to have any sort of encouragement or an example that the rest of these groups can look to say, that's how you do it. They don't want that. Pick up that book. All right, let's continue. We're almost done.
To oppose the word of Christ, and I'ma give you borders, they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everybody dies. And I'ma give you money that you'll value more than life and let the 1% have everything while you fight to survive. And then I'll give you politics, I'll call it left and right. And while you divide yourselves, I will conquer both the sides. Can't you see? I'm the system, my whole purpose is divide. What you choose will never matter because everything is mine.
That is beautiful. So he says, I'm gonna give you money that you value more than life. For example, the abortion industry, I'll keep going back to that. You value the money that you make off of murdering children instead of the lives of these kids. We can also bring that back to gender identity. You value the money that you're making by being an affirming doctor or being a doctor that injects kids with these hormones. You care more about making money than the mental well-being that these kids are suffering from that could result in them committing suicide because they realize they made a mistake later down the line. You care more about your money than their well-being. You can also add in Black Lives Matter. You care more about money than their well-being. Talking about police brutality when we know we have a serious black-on-black crime in communities. Who do you think a black person is more afraid of, the police or going into the hood? Like, let's have an honest conversation about this. Let's be real. All right, so let's end this with the chorus.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Okay.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Tom Nova, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Wonderful. I'm serious about having me in the music video. I'm serious. I want to do that. I can't dance. I can do jazz hands in the background. You know, I can do that. If you ever need a jazz hand dancer, I'm your gal. I can play the cowbell too. All right. No, I can't, but I can learn. This was amazing. I love this. It depicts everything that's happening right now. There's nothing else I could possibly add to this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have a suggestion for something else you want me to react to, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to share this. I know YouTube likes suppressing my videos, but that's okay. That's okay. Because I believe the truth prevails regardless of shadow banning. So, joke's on you. But anyways, that's going to be it for me. My name is Gothix, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you want to keep my grift going, consider picking up some official merch by visiting nosisnos.com/Gothix or joining my locals community at gothix.locals.com for more content. As always, you can help amplify my message by giving this video a thumbs up and by sharing it online with your friends. Until next time.